The areas I expect to see some showers and storms over the weekend and on Three Kings Day. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We're your home for Caribbean weather, and it's nice to see you on a Friday. Happy New Year's, everyone. Hope you kicked off 2025 on a positive note. Coming up in this video, we'll be tracking a cold front that'll be bringing some cooler and drier air to some, but for others, an increase in rain and even storm chances for the weekend ahead. We'll look at the forecast on Monday, Three Kings Day. For those who celebrate, we'll break that down for you. Love to hear from you guys, especially in this new year. Let me know in the comment section below where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like. Of course, if you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. We'll get started. This is your broad view, your enhanced satellite imagery for you here. Tell you what, I was messing around with a couple of things before the video, put the lightning data back on because there's actually a couple of lightning strikes. And then these temperatures that you see are current and they're in Fahrenheit. And again, 80 degrees Fahrenheit is about 27 degrees Celsius for us here. We have moisture coming up over the Pacific and into the Western Caribbean. We have a frontal boundary that's moving through our area right now, and it's beginning to stall out, and that is going to be a focusing mechanism for additional showers and storms for areas east and south of that front over the weekend. Developing gale conditions right now through the western portions of the Atlantic. We're going to have some heavier rain and some wind near Bermuda, and just an increase in moisture overall for a fair amount of our area. You can really take this cold front and divide our area in half. North of that front, we're going to have some cooler, drier air. South of that boundary, the opportunity for some rain and storms for the weekend ahead. But again, very comfortable conditions. Temperatures for the most part for today have been in the 80s and even some 70s north of the front, especially in the Bahamas. Nassau, 73 today. How about Freeport, Grand Bahama, just 72. This is the water vapor imagery. The green is the moisture-laden air, and you can clearly see the moisture coming up through the Pacific and into the western sides of the Caribbean, interacting with that boundary and then being pushed off north and east. The interesting thing is, though, the surface winds are out of the east, and so it's actually the northern sides of these islands that have had the best opportunity for some rain. So let's get into what's been happening for today on this Friday. We've had some showers developing across coastal areas of Nicaragua and Honduras and Costa Rica and Panama for today. Some of those are going to continue to try and stream into the northern sides of Honduras, with a scattered shower possible here in portions of Guatemala and in Belize. Now you get north of the boundary, you can clearly see this moisture-laden air it can't go any farther north, right? So you get into Quintana Roo. I mean, the dividing line is really right there, northern Belize, southern sides of Quintana Roo, where they're going to dry out relatively quickly. So places like Belize City will have some rain chances over the weekend, but Cancun and Cozumel will stay basically dry. We'll see an isolated rain chance over the weekend for our friends in the Cayman Islands as well. Same situation for our friends in Jamaica. Again, temperatures on the board at the hour aren't that bad. Montego Bay today, just 81 degrees Fahrenheit, again, right around 27 degrees Celsius. You can see a little bit of cloud coverage coming back in. Could there be a sporadic shower in Jamaica on this Friday? Absolutely. Slightly higher rain chances over the weekend. We'll highlight that coming up. Again, the moisture-laden air gets back into the southeast Bahamas, right? And you can even see there was a little bit of a lightning strike there in the southern sides of Andros, but you get north, and I mean just a little bit farther north, and the air is much drier. A passing shower is possible for the southeast Bahamas and into the Turks of the Caicos. Now, again, what's interesting is when you take a look at this, let's just look at Samana as a point. Notice again, the surface winds are out of the east, even though you see the clouds coming from southwest to northeast. These are mid-level clouds coming in, but the surface-based winds are actually promoting the heaviest rain along the northern coastlines of places like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Leeward Islands, and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. So this is the visible satellite imagery. And you'll see that here, once this starts to loop up, that we're actually going to have a better chance for heavier rain, and we still have some advisories here on the northern sides of places like the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Again, mid-level clouds, clear to see those cirrus clouds, those mid and upper level clouds There are your surface-based clouds on the visible satellite imagery moving the opposite direction, the confluence of those winds along the northern coastlines, and you've got the better opportunity for rain there. Now, look, that doesn't mean that places like Santo Domingo and Punta Cana won't see some rain, but especially Punta Cana north towards Puerto Plata and the Samana Peninsula will have better opportunities there. We're going to start to see this front bring better rain chances to Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands starting tonight on this Friday, then through at least Sunday evening. And then we'll talk about the Three Kings Day forecast coming up. But otherwise, it's been a very pleasant day across the islands, very fair conditions. Again, temperatures today, upper 70s, lower 80s in Fahrenheit for daytime highs. A sporadic shower is possible. We've been mainly dry. And we'll see increasing rain chances in the Lesser Antilles, especially in the Leeward Islands over the weekend as well. Anguilla, again, very comfortable afternoon. High surf advisories are in effect. Rip current risks are in effect. There is going to be some marine issues to deal with here. Barbuda, Antigua, Montserrat, enjoy the day there. Again, right around 80 for the daytime high. Guadeloupe, beautiful day. You caught a passing shower here in the Lesser Antilles. Let me know in the comments section below. There's just enough moisture to provide some of that. And that will be the situation for St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. You know, Barbados will watch out for some swells on the western sides of the island. Now, you notice that things get a little bit more turbulent here. Grenada, especially back down towards Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot more moisture-laden air coming off the mainland, and this has spelled some heavier rain for these areas. Earlier in the day, for Trinidad, we actually had a yellow alert, number 2, for some excessive rainfall. And we've had some locally very heavy rain over Trinidad. You live in Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada. Let me know if you've caught some of this heavy rain. I mean, it's led to some problems, some landslides and some mudslides, some localized urban and street flooding as well. And this pattern will stick around the next couple of days. This could be evening rain overnight into the morning hours, drying out a bit in the afternoon, and then refiring, and again in the day, not the daylight hours, but the overnight hours. So just keep that in mind, that a relatively wet pattern is still in effect for the southern side of the Windward Islands. We've had some decent rain over the ABC Islands as well for today. Again, you can see the moisture streaming in from the south, and we've had sporadic showers where rain chances have been at least decent in the ABC Islands on this Friday. Let's get into the forecast, friends. As we do so, again, appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Easiest way to do that, just click that like button right now. If you haven't subscribed to Meteo Mundo, you want these forecasts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, you found your home. Appreciate you sharing this with your family and friends. And again, thank you for finding ways to support the channel. You can find that in the memberships and super thanks, or in the video description here below. So let's get into what's going to be happening here over the next few days. Again, our boundary is going to be the main factor for showers and storms that will try and get going. And there will be enough instability to provide the opportunity for a little bit in the way of some thunderstorm activity. Let's start off with the winds. And I'm going to loop this up over the next couple of days, and we'll talk about how that's going to play into getting the rain chances in the areas that I expect to have the best chance. Now, as this begins to pop on here, let me make sure I've got the model data timestamp on so you can clearly see. We mentioned the developing storm and the gale. I want to just talk about that. If you live in Bermuda and you're used to it this time of the year, you're going to have some fast-moving heavy rain coming in over the weekend, and you're going to have some 30 to 40 mile an hour westerly winds. Those yellows and oranges here. An area of low pressure developing. It's going to be strong. Now, this system that'll be kind of pushing through on the heels of that cold front will begin to swing the winds about. So we'll still have mainly an east to a northeast wind, but you can see there's a little bit of a turn in the winds there. And then in the Caribbean, we're going to have our easterlies that will still kick in. Another front coming in will again kick in drier air through the Bahamas, into Cuba, and portions of the Yucatan as well. The Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Cuba, most of the Bahamas will continue to enjoy a relaxing northeast wind that is bringing relatively tranquil conditions, right? Relatively lower humidities and a much lower opportunity for some rain. That being said, you get back down into Central America, and the easterlies are still pumping in enough moisture to provide the opportunity for some showers. But gale conditions in the open waters of the Atlantic, rough surf and sea conditions on the northern sides of the Hispaniola and Puerto Rico and the Lesser Antilles, and again, swells all the way down the Lesser Antilles, and we'll look at those coming up. I didn't want to show you that yet. That's a preview. That's not what I wanted to do. What I want to do is break down the rain chances here over the next few days, right? So again, If you live in the central and the northern Bahamas, even the southeast Bahamas, we're not going to see a huge chance for rain the next few days. So enjoy the nice weekend for Freeport and Lucaya, Walker's Key, Abacos, on over towards Nassau, New Providence, Andros, Eleuthera, my friends at Cat Island, the Acklands as well. Could there be a couple of showers in the Turks, the Caicos, and the southeast Bahamas? Sure. Again, you can see a next front coming in with that developing storm system here. Bermuda will get some decent rain tomorrow, right? Have a little bit more rain on Sunday, and then start to dry out on Monday, and probably even more rain coming in on Tuesday. That's kind of the snapshot there as we get into Monday night. Let's go over here to the western sides of the Caribbean. The moisture will continue to stream in, and this will just provide good rain chances across the Caribbean coastline of all of Central America. So if you live on the Caribbean coast of Panama and Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras, including the Bay Islands, Guatemala, and Belize, you're looking at 50-60% chance for rain in the southern side of that area, a 30 to a 40% chance for rain in Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, including the Bay Islands. Scattered rain will try to get as far north as the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. It's not going to be extremely heavy. We're going to have a couple of passing showers for Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. So if you have outdoor plans in Grand Cayman or Montego Bay, Negril, and Kingston, the weather is looking pretty good. Now we start to get into more active weather as we get into Hispaniola and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. This is the area that will be most influenced by this cold front. Once again, you can see that we have pretty good rain chances, especially along the northern coastline right over the weekend. Interior sections, western sections of the islands will be drier, but Puerto Plata and Samana and Punta Cana, good rain chances overall, not as much for places like Santo Domingo, Port-au-Prince, or Lacaille. But the rain chances will still be there. It'll be the same situation overall for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Starting on this Friday evening, rain will become much more widespread and then be widespread at least until Sunday night. Now, for Three Kings Day itself on Monday, the weather should improve. I do expect there to be some rain during the morning hours of Monday. So if I bring this out to, let's say, Monday morning, I still expect there to be a few showers. But generally speaking, I know it doesn't look fantastic, but overall, we should hopefully dry out a bit as we go through our Monday, right? I'm hoping that the rain is more in the morning. I know the model still shows some rain through Monday evening, especially on the northern and the eastern sides of the island. But I hope it's breaking apart a little bit by then. Looking at the models, there should be some drier air. The point is, I'm hoping that there is not impactful weather the majority of Three Kings Day, okay, for the celebrations that'll be ongoing. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a wet weekend here, 60 to even a 70% chance for rain on Saturday and Sunday, but I hope that most of the rain is out of here on Monday morning. We'll cross our fingers and see how it plays out. We'll see improving rain chances, especially into the Leeward Islands. So Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, St. Eustatius, Saba, Montserrat. We'll up our rain chances to 40% over the next couple of days. Slightly drier air coming in on Monday. We'll see passing showers for Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, and St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Barbados over the same time frame. Again, many dry hours in locations. Generally fair conditions here. We'll still have some swells developing, so our mariners keep that in mind. And then rain chances should be higher here, Grenada south, especially towards Trinidad and Tobago, and especially Trinidad itself, where we could have some healthy, excessive rainfall potential. We're talking about 25 to 75 millimeters in any one day. That's 1 to 3 inches. Again, we've had problems recently with some excessive rainfall in Trinidad, and that pattern will continue over the next few days. Scattered showers for Nueva Esparta. I've got a pretty good chance for rain for the ABC Islands for our Saturday. So Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao will start to see some decent rain chances, and then the drier air begins to move in. So let's look at the island by island rain chance. Now we can get into that. For the Bahamas, again, we're virtually dry over the weekend. Slightly better chance on Monday. Turks and Caicos, again, a few showers as that front settles into the area, but you're on the back end of it. just maybe seeing a few showers kind of drifting back west over your area, especially on Monday. Isolated showers for Cuba. Cayman Islands, relatively dry tomorrow, slightly better chance Sunday and Monday. Belize City, a 40% chance for tomorrow. And again, the farther south you go along the Caribbean coastline of Central America, your rain chances will be higher than a 30% chance Sunday and Monday. But you get as far north as the Yucatan and Cancun and Cozumel, behind that front, north winds, drier air, really no chance for rain. Jamaica, 20% chance tomorrow, 30% chance for a few showers Sunday and Monday. Here's the hefty rain chances, guys. Dominican Republic, especially in the northern side of the island, 60% chance over the weekend. It does dry out on Monday. This is what I'm hoping for Puerto Rico as well. 60% chance tomorrow, 70 on Sunday, 30 on Monday, and I hope most of that is done in the morning hours. Scattered showers are likely for the Virgin Islands over the weekend and isolated rain on Monday. Bermuda, it's a 50% chance with a lot of wind on Saturday, 30 Sunday, Monday. Scattered showers will continue for Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis. So the 5-day forecast for San Juan looks like this. Rain and even a few storms over the weekend. There'll be enough instability near that front where we will get some lightning strikes, so keep that in mind. 4, Three Kings Day itself. A few showers, hopefully in the morning, 78 the daytime high, and then we should begin to dry out even further after that, down to a 10% chance for rain on our Wednesday. Rest of the islands forecast for your rain. 40% chance the next few days. Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, 30% chance on Monday. Dominica has a 40% chance tomorrow, then a 30 Sunday, Monday. It's the same situation for our friends in Martinique. Isolated rain for St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines over the weekend. Not completely dry, but again, you have outdoor plans, I'm not too concerned. Barbados stays with that 30% chance for showers as well. And our friends in Grenada. Again, you get down towards Trinidad and Tobago, rain chances are higher, especially in the evening and overnight hours, but there could still be some daylight rain as well. Watch out for the excessive rainfall. Good rain chances continue for Suriname and Guyana. Isolated rain for Nueva Esparta. There's your 40% chance of the ABC Islands Saturday, and then tailing off as the drier air moves in on Sunday and Monday. That's not pretty. We've got some huge swells and seas coming off the United States East Coast. It's typical for this time of the year, but for the open waters of the Atlantic, we're going to have double-digit waves. That will continue to bring near gale conditions to the exposed waters of the eastern sides of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, northern sides of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and the Lesser Antilles. This front will also push through and bring in a little bit more in the way of some churned-up conditions in the far northwest Caribbean. The rest of the Caribbean looks pretty good as we stay with our easterlies, but even then, we do kick in a little bit fresher winds and see heights rise in the Central Caribbean early next week. We expect this time of the year for the marine conditions to be a little bit more churned up with cold fronts coming in with a lot more wind energy overall in general, especially some of the swells. Rainfall totals. Again, you look in the Central America coastal areas, solid rain just over the next 7 days. 2, 4, maybe even 6 inches of rain in spots. And we've had some friends in Costa Rica and Panama drop into the comments that they've been really dealing with some flooding issues. So our thoughts are with you guys. If you're still dealing with that, let us know in the comments section below. You can clearly see the impacts of the cold fronts this time of the year, drying things out the farther north that you go. And then you look at even the European model, and it really does try and paint on some of the heaviest rain on the northern sides of the islands that I've just mentioned. Same thing for Jamaica as well. I mean, if we're going to get a little bit of excessive rainfall, it might be for places like Port Antonio compared to Negril or Lucy. This is what it looks like on the GFS model. It's about the same scenario as well. There's really not much of a difference. You can clearly see, again, the heavier rainfall all the way from coastal areas of Guatemala and Belize. You can see that nice little pocket there through the Bay Islands, Utila and Roatan and Guanaja. By the way, just to show you this, because I can, obviously, we can query these numbers. This would be over the next 5 days. You know, look, Roatan gets 2.5 inches of rain. That's pretty solid for January. And you can see some of the higher rainfall totals. Now, some of this will hopefully fall offshore, but there will still be the opportunity for some excessive rainfall if some of that moves back in. For Jamaica itself, again, right on the northeast coast, there's Port Antonio with maybe an inch of rain. And we may not get a lot for Savalomar and Cambridge and Negril. And it'll be the same situation for the Dominican Republic and Haiti as well. Again, Puerto Plata, Samana, Punta Cana, better rain chances, and then falling off south and west. In the same situation overall for Puerto Rico. Arecibo and San Juan and Fajardo will have higher rain totals than Mayaguez and Ponce and even Aguadilla. Uti Alta for sure, and the northern areas of Anegada, Tortola, St. Thomas, St. John, Culebra, Virgin Gorda, all with, again, a little bit better opportunities there. As you would expect with the easterlies in play, eastern sides of the Lesser Antilles could see higher rainfall totals compared to the western compatriots. There is your higher rain totals over Trinidad. Again, that's a solid amount of rain situated over there. The GFS paints on some heavier rain even up towards the other sides of the Windward Islands. In a couple of spots, we'll get some decent rain. Now, the other story is going to be what these cold fronts do to our temperatures. So take a look at this over the next week plus. We have a series of very strong cold fronts coming out of the United States eastern seaboard that will be plunging some relatively colder air in, especially into the Bahamas. So we're going to get ready to see some morning lows in the Bahamas, easily in the 50s in some areas. And I snapshotted this next Sunday morning. And you can see in Celsius just how chilly we're going to get in a couple of spots. Obviously, these are morning lows, so you're going to see some cooler temperatures here, but you can almost see the nose of that colder air. It is going to make its way all the way through the central Bahamas and into Cuba, and even places like the Cayman Islands and especially the Yucatan will feel the impacts of this. And I'll have more on this coming up for the week ahead, but there's going to be a significant snowstorm through portions of the mid-south here in the United States, but the colder air coming along with that is going to have some impacts in our area for next weekend. So promise we'll talk more about that coming up in the week ahead. Friends, I appreciate you guys. You want to send me a picture or video to include in these YouTube videos, mymeteomundo@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to do it. Please also follow us across our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, TikTok, where we do some exclusive content there, X, Facebook, and again, there's our email address to send pictures and videos. As I've mentioned, you have a specific question about the forecast, drop it in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer it while you're down there. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Friends, have a great rest of your Friday. For those who are celebrating Three Kings Day on Monday, I hope the weather cooperates. Love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section below how you're planning your weekend. You have a great one, and I'm back soon. Until then, take care, and I will see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.